Hello, my name is Valeria, and today I will be talking about the U.S. court structure. To start off, I'm going to go over some important terms. The first term is original jurisdiction. Original jurisdiction means that a court has the power to hear a case for the first time. The next term is due process. Due process basically means that every citizen has the right to get fair treatment through the regular judicial system. The final quick term to know is equal protection. Equal protection means that the governing body of state has to protect each person no matter what condition they're in. This is especially important for people with different races, different classes, different amounts of money. If equal protection were not in place, then people that had a larger influence in society would be able to benefit more from the judicial system. Unfortunately, in real life, there are many cases where people who have a higher amount of money or higher status do get more from the system, as in they can get a lesser sentence because they can afford a better lawyer. And that is one instance where the judicial system must be true and must stay consistent. That is one issue that I don't see really tackled a lot in many cases. Now with those important terms out of the way, it's time to delve into state court progression. The current chart on the screen is for Indiana, but this chart system is a good model to represent what the systems look in different territories and states. To start off, each state has a trial court. These are courts where the case is heard for the first time. Trial courts can hear any civil or criminal case that isn't already within the jurisdiction of another court. The next court is the Court of Appeals. This court is an appellate court. Basically, an appellate court has appellate jurisdiction, which is the power to review a lower court's decision, and they can amend or overrule the decisions that were made in that trial court. At the top of the chart is the State Supreme Court. The State Supreme Court is basically another appellate court, and their responsibility is correcting the errors of the inferior state courts. They actually hold no trials, since they do not make any finding of facts. Now, after discussing the state court progression, we can move on to the federal court progression. At the bottom of the pyramid, we have the U.S. district courts. There are 94 federal judicial districts, and they all hear federal cases. There are specific cases where the U.S. district courts have original jurisdiction. Remember, original jurisdiction means that the court has the power to hear a case for the first time. There are 4 cases where the U.S. district courts have original jurisdiction. The first is a case where the law at issue is a federal law. Federal and state laws don't always coincide, so it's important for a separate court to exist for these federal laws. The next case are cases involving treaties. Of course, treaties usually involve another country that is cooperating with the U.S. Therefore, they need a federal court. The third case are cases involving the U.S. Constitution. An example of this kind of case is where a school may be violating the freedom of religion that a student has. The last case is where the U.S. government is a party to litigation. Going back to the pyramid chart, we can look at the next court, which is the U.S. Court of Appeals. These courts have 13 circuits, 12 regional, and only 1 for the federal circuit. They act as an appellate court. The final highest court is the U.S. Supreme Court. This court is the last appellate court existing within the government of the U.S. Currently on the screen are cases where the Supreme Court holds original jurisdiction. The first case is when the issue at hand is between the U.S. federal government and a state government. The next case is when 2 or more states are involved. It would be a bigger issue between the states trying to figure out where to hold it, so that is why the Supreme Court is there to make that decision much easier. The third case is when the case involves a foreign minister or an ambassador. The fourth case is when citizens in one state are going against citizens in another. And the final case is when the case occurs on the high seas. Thank you for watching.